This video is just going to be a basics of Fieldpoint, not really getting into the function of it, more so the components of it. So this is what the app looks like, the icon. So if you search in your store, whether it's Apple or Android, it's free, and that should be what it looks like. As we go into this, usually it takes a little bit to kind of get into it because it's all internet based. So I had preloaded it, that's why it came up. So this is the basic outline. Some of you might say, instead of jobs, it might say projects. Instead of service calls, it might say incidents. And then we have appointments. So the easiest way for me to describe this is jobs or projects are the jobs, and service calls or incidents are the service calls, and appointments are what you're actually doing that day, or the day-to-day stuff. That's where you're appointed to go, whether that's to a service call or to a job. They're all appointments. So if you think about the jobs or the service calls as the folders, that might help kind of get your mind around this. So if we go into the jobs, you'll have all the different jobs, obviously. And you can click on one and it'll load all the information about it. So it kind of works the same way with a service call. And if I go back into the jobs down at the bottom, you can see where areas I can kind of get to. So I don't have to go back to that home screen. I can go to service calls from here. So those are all the service calls that I've been assigned to. You will not get any service calls that you have not been assigned. So if I open one of those, it loads me the details of that service call. This one is complete, you can see at the top, and then there's all the information on it. So if I go back to home, now the appointments is my day-to-day stuff. It's what I've done for that day. So Tuesday, October 24th at 8 a.m. I did 8 hours on this project 4006-2. So what I usually do, if you tap up in between the appointments and that new icon, or anywhere in that blue bar, it'll pop up that filter. And I always filter for this week because I'm always looking at what I'm doing this week. So, and at the bottom here you can see it says 32 hours and 45 minutes I've completed. So that's my kind of timesheet. So all this is just day-to-day stuff. So here's Wednesday, I worked on multiple things. Here's Thursday, I worked on one thing. So that's kind of your day-to-day stuff. So if we go back to home, I just want to show you a few options in the menu. So if you go up into the top right into the menu, there's a sync that'll force a sync and update to whatever's going on. And then there's settings and show pending sync events, message logs. Every once in a while, the show pending sync events will be red, and that means, I believe that means you're not syncing whatever's recent. So make sure if this is ever red, and also if you go back to the main menu, up in the upper right hand corner, you see those 3 bars. If those are ever red, make sure you handle it right away, because otherwise, and it might just take a bunch of syncing or closing out and going back in. But I want to show you a few settings. So if we go into settings here, a few things that I have changed. This keep history in days box, I set that to 14 because I don't want to have a lot of history in here. I don't want it to kind of take up data and just have a bunch of stuff I don't care about. So I figure 14 days past is plenty. So it's basically, if I'm doing paperwork Friday, I can look back the whole last week. And then another thing, this show timer controls, if you put that on, you'll basically have a timer for your job sites, for your appointments. You can say, I'm starting, and it'll start a timer. Some people like that. I'd rather just put it in manually. Most of these other things we're not really concerned about. So down here at connection info, this is where when you actually log in or create an account, you're going to have to put the server URL in here. So it's a pretty easy URL. It's just http:// select soundservice.fieldpointonline.com, and then if you scroll over /MC, that MC is the mobile device URL. So if you are brand new to setting this up, you're going to have to put that in at some point. So if we go back, reset data. This is something will probably have you guys do once in a while, and if you're acting up or something's weird, a lot of times I'll have you click clear all offline data. And what that does is it just kind of wipes your phone of all the offline data, and then you just resync everything. So it's kind of like a refresh for your phone, so for the app, so it can help get rid of some of the problems that we face. I think that's about all the basics that I wanted to cover. Yeah, there's a couple other things, but we're not going to use them much. So I think that's all I need to worry about. So I'll cover more in the next video.